A stunning scene in a New York courtroom where a head of state, Nicolás Maduro, says he has been kidnapped by the U.S. He was captured and deposed as president of Venezuela in a weekend raid ordered by President Donald Trump, who now claims, quote, "We are in charge of Venezuela."
And we have team coverage. Carlos Granda has been talking with local Venezuelans to get their reaction. We begin with Rob Hayes live in our newsroom with more on the U.S. attack on Venezuela and whether President Trump might target other sovereign nations. Rob.
Yeah, after snagging Venezuela's leader over the weekend, President Trump has renewed his calls for an American takeover of Greenland. He's threatening military action against Colombia, and Marco Rubio is now saying Cuba is in a lot of trouble. All of that going on today while Nicolas Maduro pleaded innocent in a U.S. court this morning. From president to prisoner, Nicolás Maduro, Venezuela's deposed leader, led in handcuffs along with his wife Cilia Flores to a New York courthouse this morning, less than 2 days after the couple was extracted in a U.S. military operation. At his arraignment, Maduro pleading not guilty to 4 felony drug and weapon charges.
What the government is alleging is that Maduro and his wife were handing out passports to drug dealers. They were engaging in murder and kidnapping.
Maduro, Flores, and 4 others are accused of leading a 25-year narco-terrorism conspiracy that imported tons of cocaine from Venezuela through Mexico and Colombia into the U.S. The judge asking Maduro, how do you plead to the indictment? Maduro, through an interpreter, saying, I am innocent. I am not guilty. I am a decent man. I am still president of my country. But legal analysts say that claim of being president may not buy him immunity to prosecution.
Both Republican and Democratic administrations for a number of years now did not recognize him as the head of state. So I think that that's a challenging or uphill battle for him to raise that argument.
Outside the courthouse today, protesters from both sides facing off. Police forced to separate the 2 groups at one point. Inside the court, someone yelling at Maduro in Spanish, "You will pay in the name of Venezuela." Maduro responding, "I am a prisoner of war. I will be free." But the 63-year-old is facing up to life in prison. And if not that, the minimum sentences on some charges hit 20 years each. Meanwhile, we're learning more about the U.S. military extraction. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth today saying there were 200 U.S. personnel involved in the Caracas operation. Those who were hurt suffered minor, non-life-threatening injuries. Casualties on the Venezuelan side include 32 Cuban military members. Sources say Maduro didn't trust his own military to protect him. Now, one interesting note, Maduro and his wife did not ask for bail in court today. Experts say they most likely will, but add that such a request would probably be denied since they pose a flight risk and could be considered a danger to society with alleged links to drug cartels.